Welcome to Moons and Meridians. In today's practice, we'll be synchronizing with the full moon in Leo. Before we begin, take a moment to make sure that you have the following props: a yoga mat, a bolster, 2 blocks, and 2 blankets. Please take a moment to grab these items and we'll meet back on the mat shortly. We'll begin seated for just a few moments, but feel free to sit on top of a folded blanket or a block to support your low back and hips. Let's begin. We'll start with taking 3 deep centering breaths. Find a comfortable seat. Let your arms rest wherever they feel comfortable and close your eyes. And take a deep breath. And exhale to let it go. Again, deep inhale. Exhale, let that go. Last time, deep breath. And exhale, let it go. Slowly begin to blink open your eyes, and we'll work our way towards shifting into our first shape of today's practice, which is called Child's Pose. Set up your blanket so that it's mat width distance, especially if you're practicing on a hardwood floor. This is going to support your knees. For the first option of this shape, widen your knees to the width of your mat and let your hips come to your heels. Walk your hands to the top of your mat and let your forehead rest down on the earth, and pause. If this shape is in some way uncomfortable or not available for your body today, there are a couple of modifications. You can try tucking a bolster underneath your hips, sitting your hips on top of the bolster, and then reaching your hands forward and relaxing your head down. You can also try bringing the bolster in front of you, where you can drape your chest over the bolster and let your head turn to either side. You can also do a combination of both of these modifications. Find what works well for your body today and meet me in this shape. As you begin to settle into the version of this shape that is supportive for your body, take a deep, grounding breath. Let your body settle into the earth. We begin today's practice in Child's Pose as a way to settle the nervous system and calm the heart. The system of the body that the constellation of Leo rules is the heart. As we explore this space in our yin practice, we can begin to understand, as Chinese medicine shares, that the heart is the ruler of our emotions. Because full moons are said to be a time of full illumination, this is also a time where emotive forces are activated. In some cases, we may be working with our own heart energy and emotions, and in other cases, we might be absorbing and experiencing the emotive forces of those around us. Either way, we are at our most vibrant, healthiest, most aligned state when our nervous systems and heart field are synchronized and in coherence. Take a deep breath and exhale, let it go. Think of this shape as a pranam. A pranam is a form of respectful or reverential salutation to something or someone that is deeply respected. In this case, with your head below your heart, I invite you to bring this reverential salutation to the intelligence of your heart. Take a deep breath directly into your heart space, and exhale, let it go. Begin to lift your body up just enough to walk your arms up and over to the right corner of your mat. Your head will rest back down on the earth, and your body will be arcing over to the right like a crescent moon shape. We won't be here for too long. Feel your left hip crease growing long towards the earth and down towards the bottom of your mat, as your left pinky extends over to the right. Take a deep, full breath through the left line of your body. Where can you more deeply relax? Walk your hands back to your shoulders and lift yourself up and come right over to the opposite side. Your body is now going to arc over to the left as you release your forehead to the earth. This time, feel your right hip crease growing down towards the earth and back towards the back of your mat. As your right pinky arcs over to the left, breathe through the right line of your body. Where can you release any unnecessary resistance? Begin to walk your hands back, lifting yourself up. Come into a tabletop position and walk your knees underneath your hips. Here I invite you to take a few moments to practice what is called sahaja. Sahaja is intuitive movement. You're free to look up at the video and follow along with my suggestion, or tune into your body and allow for any movements, anything that's intuitive and that feels good to come through. Take a deep breath. And exhale, let that go. Trust that your body knows exactly how to move and unwind from tension. Deep breath. And exhale, let that go. Let's begin to move into our next shape. Return a blanket underneath your knees for support. We'll come back into a tabletop position with knees underneath your hips, your hands underneath your shoulders. We're moving into a shape called Anahatasana. This is heart melting pose. You come into this pose by walking your hands forward just like in child's pose, but this time your hips are going to stay high in the air. Your head can either look forward between your hands, but if this brings any discomfort in the back of your neck, just bring your forehead to the earth. Take a few moments to get settled into this somewhat awkward shape. The modification for this pose is to try it standing using the wall. With your arms extended up against the wall, you'll bend your hips 90 degrees and let your heart melt into gravity. Again, find your way into your safe edge in this shape. Widen your hands as much as needed to give space for your shoulders, and take a deep breath. In Yin Yoga, we have the opportunity to work with our heart energy by way of feeling what's present and not resisting what it is that we feel. In other words, by practicing non-resistance in each of these shapes, there's an opportunity to allow for the energy that is ready to be worked with and or released to reveal itself, whether that's physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. Take a deep breath and exhale, let it go. Continue to explore the shape for a couple more breaths on your own. Now begin to walk your hands back to your shoulders and move very slowly. You can sit your hips on your heels and move back into Sahaja, or any counter pose or poses that feel intuitive for your body. Think of the shape that you were just in. How might you move to counter that and complement that? Trust your body. Breathe into your body. Enjoy the space and time to be able to explore yourself in this way. Now we'll move into our next shape. This one is called Sphinx. We'll come down onto our bellies. Place the elbows below your shoulders, right below the heads of your shoulders. Your fingertips are going to point forward. You're going to stack your elbows so that you're using the alignment of your bones to hold yourself up rather than any muscular energy. If there's too much compression on the low back, walk your elbows forward slightly. Otherwise, just stay where you're at and find your safe edge, a comfortable enough position here where you can relax and allow for the structure of this shape to support you as you let go and breathe. In Yin, we aim to completely relax and release any resistance in the body, allowing for the connective tissues of the body to open, which give way for the energy to move freely through the meridians. In this particular shape, there's a little bit more of yang activity in that your head is not resting on the earth, but rather it's upright. And this is where stacking your bones so that you're not using muscular energy to hold yourself allows you to be in this shape in a more yin way. Where can you release any excess resistance or tension? Check in with your body. Trust your body and trust your breath. Take another deep inhale and exhale to let that go. Now come down into crocodile. Walk your hands forward. You'll cross your forearms and just let your head turn to either side. You can rock your hips side to side as a way to decompress. And now release your arms and just let them rest along the side of your body and turn your head towards the right if it's not already. You're going to lift your right knee up towards your head, coming into a shape called Hug the Earth. Now this particular shape mirrors what some people look like when they're sleeping. However, I'm going to invite you to try and bring a 90-degree angle into your right leg, your right knee. And now slide your right knee out slightly and see if you can notice a slight to mild sensation on the inner thigh of your right leg. If this shape feels more restorative in nature and you feel no sensation, that's okay. Release into the shape and allow for your bones to settle into the earth. As your breath carries the chi and circulates it throughout your body, softening and relaxing your nervous system. When our nervous system is in this more balanced, calm, relaxed state, this is where we have more access into the intelligence of the heart. Everyday anxieties and stressors can be distractions and be like blockages of information. If you think of your heart as an antenna, stress and anxiety can block that receptivity to receiving that intelligence. This is why relaxation is important. Take one more deep breath here. And exhale, release, and we'll come into the second side. Draw your left knee up towards your head. Your hip is going to be flexed into a 90-degree angle, as well as your left knee. Turn your head to face the left side of your mat. Now slide the head of your kneecap forward slightly, aiming to bring a gentle to mild sensation in your inner left thigh. Take a deep breath. And exhale, let that go. Enjoy being in this space, in your breath, and in silence for about another minute. Take just one final deep breath here. And exhale, let it go. Begin to slide your hands back underneath your shoulders. And then wiggle your left leg back to meet your right leg. Very slowly walk yourself back. Meet me in a tabletop position. You can take a couple of cat-cows for decompression. And then we'll begin to move into our next shape. We'll be setting up for a shape that's called cat pulls its tail. Start with placing your bolster on the right side of your mat as displayed in the video. Bring your blanket up to the top of your mat and you're going to use it as a pillow, so you might want to fold it a couple of times so that it supports your neck properly. Find your way over into the right side, and then rest your head on the edge of the blanket or pillow, and let your bottom arm, your right arm, extend out in front of you. Situate your bolster so that you can bend your left knee at a 90-degree angle and feel supported. Adjust yourself and your props so that you feel supported in this shape and can release any final fidgets. Now you're going to bend your right knee and reach your left hand back to capture your foot. If you can, pivot your hands so that you're reaching for the pinky side of your foot rather than the big toe side. This is going to help open up the shoulder. To access the medicine in this shape, what we're aiming for is to find an interesting sensation at the top of the left thigh. So with the knee that's bent, notice if you have space to move that knee back any amount to create more of a sensation of a stretch-like feeling in your quad. This particular shape may require a little bit of exploring in efforts to find your safe edge, your Goldilocks position, and finding stillness. If reaching your foot is challenging in this shape, you may use a scarf or a strap for leverage. Take a few moments to explore and breathe. In this particular shape, we have the opportunity to work with the front line of the body. When the front line of our body is compressed or folded over or folded in, this creates a kink in the flow of energy through the heart channel and through the rest of the body. By opening the front of your hip as it relates to the front of your shoulder and the whole front line of your body, you create an opportunity to unwind from the withdrawal reflex. This is a natural reactive posture that happens when we're stressed, when we're fearful, and when we're in protection mode. And while all of those things are a natural part of being human at various points in time, it's not natural to live in that space. To be upright and open is to be in a space of embracing your life as it is and embracing the world as it is. When we are living from that space, we know that we are connected to the intelligence of the heart. Take a deep breath here. And exhale, let it go. Settle in even deeper into this shape. Relax your glutes, your jaw, your thighs. Where can you soften more deeply? Where can you surrender? This practice is not about doing, but about being. While this concept is very simple, it's not always easy. Take one final deep breath. And exhale, release. Release your foot and slowly let your leg find its way back to the ground, moving slowly to protect your knee. And then roll over onto your back. Take your time in exploration, moving freely and allowing yourself to explore some decompression. You can bend your knees, hugging them to your chest, extend your legs, rock side to side. When you're ready, we'll begin to transition over to the second side. Just bring your bolster over to the opposite side of your mat. And then we'll begin to find our way into this shape on this side. Roll over into the left side of your body. Extend your left arm underneath you and reach it forward. Bend your top knee, your right knee, at a 90-degree angle. And situate yourself so that you feel supported by your bolster and by your blanket. Now bend your left knee and reach back for your foot with your right hand. If it's available, explore pivoting your hands so that you can reach for the pinky side of your foot rather than the big toe side. You may also try this with a strap. This gives space for the front of the shoulder to open, which helps the energy of the heart meridian to flow. Settle into this shape, and now bring your awareness to the front of your left hip. To create more sensation through this space, the top of your left hip, you can begin to move the left knee back. Explore this until you find your safe edge, an interesting enough sensation where it feels like something is happening. Remember, no pain. Sensation is okay. Sensation is information. Take a deep breath into whatever sensation you are feeling. And exhale, let that go. As mentioned, in this shape, we have the opportunity to work with the withdrawal reflex. Because function follows structure, as you begin to unwind and open the front of your body, breathing, relaxing, releasing all resistance, this gives way for the energy to move freely, supporting the vitality of not only your physical body, but all layers of your being, your emotional, mental, spiritual, and energetic bodies. This sacred geometric shape and the intelligence of your breath has the power and potency to unlock deep tensions and awaken deep centers of your being. Take a few breaths on your own to explore yourself in this shape and in this space in silence. Take one final deep breath in this shape. And exhale, let it go. Release your foot. Slowly unwind your leg back down on the mat. Come back onto your back. And take your palms and circle spirals around your knees. The heart energy extends through the hands. It is important to move slowly because the connective tissues or the yin tissues of the body, they're not elastic like muscles, and they don't just spring back to position. As well, moving intuitively after each shape gives the intelligence of your body the opportunity to unwind exactly as it needs to. Now roll to your side and use as little effort as necessary, and we'll move into Sukhasana, easy sitting pose. You may want to sit on a blanket for the shape to support your low back and your hips. As well, you'll need a bolster or a block. Place your bolster on the right side of your body. And then plant your right hand onto the bolster. Inhale your left arm up towards the full moon and then arc over to the right. If it's available, you can drop down to your forearm. Relax your head to your shoulder and check in and make sure that your elbow is stacked underneath your shoulder. You can make any adjustments with your prop below you to support you in this shape. We won't be here for too long. Take a deep breath through the left side of your body. Right ear relaxes down to your right shoulder. Surrender into gravity. Deep breath. To come out, roll your chin forward and your body forward to the midline. And through the midline, you roll up one vertebrae at a time. It's important that you do not use the muscles that you just stretched. And here you can rock back and forth, moving through the spine, moving your breath through your body. We'll come into the second side. So shift your bolster over to the left side of your body and place your left palm on your bolster. Inhale your right arm up to the full moon and arc over to your left. Drop to your forearm if that's available for your body today. Otherwise, you can stay lifted on your palm. Sink your left ear towards your left shoulder. Let your top hand grow heavy. As your right hip sinks towards the earth, breathe through the right line of your body. Deep breath. Exhale to let it go. One more deep breath, releasing any resistance. And exhale to release. To come out, draw your chin towards your chest, roll forward. Through the midline, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Nice and slow. Moving into some rocking motions for your spine and your neck. Again, intuitive movements are highly encouraged here. Your body knows how to move energy and to release tension. Deep breath. And exhale, release. Now bring the soles of your feet together. Reach your thumbs down to the ball of each foot, right around that space. Start to press your thumbs into the space. Little spiraling circles, massaging your feet. This is the kidney 1 point. This is a grounding point that brings your energy down, and it helps to calm mania, anxiety, and overwhelm. Let's bring some love to another acupoint. Pericardium 6 is the point on the inside of your forearm. It's 2 thumb widths distance from the wrist crease. In a spiraling motion, press into the space to help harmonize your heart rhythm. Acupoints act like switches for the nervous system. We can increase energy flow where it is deficient and disperse energy where it is in excess. Learning these acupoints will give you instant access to your own healing right at your fingertips. Let's move to the second side. Find your point, and in your mind's eye or aloud, I invite you to chant the seed sound of the heart chakra, the Anahata chakra. The seed sound is Yam. Bring this sacred vibration into the space as you breathe and chant Yam. Now release your hands and begin to bring your bolster in front of you, and we'll shift into our next shape for the practice. We'll be moving into what's called dragonfly. Stay seated on your blanket and extend your legs out to the side. You might benefit from having some extra support, as this is a forward fold, and you may need a little extra support for your forehead. Widen your legs just the right amount, and from your center, slowly begin to fold forward. Take your time, paying attention to the sensation that you feel in your inner thighs. Bring your breath into your experience, and as you come forward, notice if you feel a lot of sensation in your inner thighs, You can set up as many props as you need to support your head in gravity. Or you can just press your hands into the earth as tent poles and just let your head go in gravity. If that brings too much sensation to the back of your neck or your spine, be sure to prop your head up so that you can be in this shape for a couple of minutes. Take these beginning moments to check in with your body. If there's too much sensation, draw your feet closer to the midline. And if your knees are bent any amount, this is workable. Just know that there's not a perfect pose. These are shapes that you invite your body into to influence particular lines of energy and particular lines of connective tissue. Deep breath in. And exhale to release. As you surrender into stillness, notice if there is any place left to release and relax. This particular shape draws on the energy of your kidneys, which is your most vital energy, supporting the physical functions of your body, as well as your blood, filtering and refreshing your blood so that as it moves through your heart, you have more vigor, more brightness in your eyes, more overall vitality. Deep breath in and exhale to release. This shape gives way for an opening through the inner line of the body, through the inner thighs, up through the hips and into the low back. These all support your heart energy by way of underneath this foundational platform, both energetically and physically. Physically to support an upright, open heart, and energetically to support the vitality of this space. As you release resistance in your physical body, you say yes to spiritual energy and this divine energy to flow through your body and through your system. Often we resist and we don't even know. It can become patterned in our body-mind complex. And in this slow, conscious practice, we begin to become familiar with areas of our body and mind that are in resistance to life. Take a couple more deep breaths on your own in exploration of this shape. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, take one more deep breath and let it go. To come out of the shape, slowly walk your hands back towards your shoulders and then roll your head up one vertebrae at a time. You can push your props away from you and lean back on your arms, your hands. Bring some intuitive movement here. You can open your heart space, draw your shoulder blades onto your back, maybe look back a bit if it's okay on your neck. And now bend your knees and rock side to side with one knee falling to the midline followed by the other. This is called windshield wiper. This is a good way to decompress that line after a big opening. Next, we'll set up for our second to last shape of the practice. And this one is a supine twist. Set up your blanket at the top of your mat so it can act as a little bit of a pillow. And then set your bolster over on the left side of your mat. From your back, you're going to bend your right knee and place it on your bolster, twisting over to your left. You can pick your hips up and scoot them over to the right any amount so that you have space in your low back. Your arms can either open into a T or you can bring them further down towards your feet if you feel any nerves or any discomfort in your shoulders. See if you can stack your hips directly on top of one another. Settle and ground and breathe. Allow for the simplicity of this practice to just be what it is and surrender into that simplicity and silence. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, take one final deep breath here. And exhale, let it go. So come out of the shape, very slowly unwind back onto your back. Bend both knees, bring your feet onto the earth to shift your hips back to neutral. Little minor movements here to decompress. You can rock on your pelvis. And then shift your bolster over to the opposite side of your mat, the right side of your mat. Then pick your hips up and scoot them over to your left as you bend your left knee and place it on your bolster to support you in a supine twist on the second side. This is a spinal rinse as well as a heart opener. Again, if you feel any discomfort in the form of nerves in your shoulders, just draw your hands back down towards your feet. Find that space where you can be here without resistance, to create space both within your body and in your mind. as you free yourself of distracting emotions, clearing your vessel. The intelligence of your heart has space to emerge. This tiny space that is connected to the very center of the universe can communicate with you through your heart. Take some deep breaths, opening up to this receptive antenna to divine communication. Continue to breathe and surrender and listen. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, take one final deep breath. And exhale to release. Come back onto your back. Lift your hips up and slide your bolster underneath your pelvis, right underneath your sacrum. With your knees bent, rock side to side, and you can bring your hands to the sides of your bolster for support. This just helps to mobilize your sacrum and bring it back to a state of balance after being in the twist. You can rock as far over to the side as it feels available and comfortable for your body. Deep breaths. And then maybe explore lifting your legs up towards the moon. This flushes out the legs and brings fresh energy back down to the pelvis. And you can bend your knees and widen your feet. Reach for the outside edges of your feet or your shins for happy baby. Bring your knees as close to your armpits as they'll comfortably come. This full open expression, opening the hips, full open heart, deep breath. And exhale, let it go. Take another deep, full-bodied breath as you explore the full illumination of this shape. Release your knees and your feet back down to the earth, and then pick your hips up and slide your bolster off to the side. Roll over to your side and use as little effort as necessary to come back into a seat. We'll be setting up for our final shape in Shavasana. We'll be moving into a restorative reclined butterfly Shavasana with the support of your blocks, your blankets, and your bolster. Set up your blocks at the top of your mat so that the top block is on the second height and then the bottom block is on the bottom height. This creates a sort of ramp to support your bolster. And now set your bolster on top of these blocks. Take both of your blankets and fold them in a way that you can use them to support your knees and the outsides of your thighs in this shape. We're aiming for very little to no sensation in the inner thighs in order for this to be more of a restorative shape. Once you have all your props set up and close by, begin to recline back onto your bolster. Bring the soles of your feet together, and then take both of your blankets and support the outsides of your knees and thighs as you come into this reclined butterfly. Take the time that you need to make sure that you have all of the support to be in this shape for a number of minutes without interruption. Let your hands just drape along the sides of your body, resting on the earth. If it's available, let your palms rotate up towards the sky. Check in and notice if there are any spaces that are holding or gripping. Relax your feet, your legs, your hips. Feel or sense your pelvic floor relaxing down to the earth, opening and widening from any constriction. Relax your abdomen, your organs, your shoulders and arms and chest. Relax your throat, your ears, the space between your eyebrows. Relax your whole head, your eyelids, your lips. Feel or sense your lower jaw decompressing away from your upper jaw. Release your tongue. Relax your teeth inside of your gums. Take a deep, intentional breath here. And this time, just let the breath slowly release from your body. And without intentionally calling it back in, allow for the intelligence of your breath to breathe you. Resting in full surrender and full stillness in your Shavasana. Slowly begin to bring your awareness back to your breath. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Slowly return back into this realm. And when you're ready, reach your hands down to the outsides of your knees to help bring them back to the midline. Move as slowly as you need to, just honoring the depth of silence that you were just in and emerging slowly. Bend your knees and let your feet come to the earth and widen your feet. Let your inner knees come to touch. Your hands can just rest wherever they feel most comfortable. Maybe try reaching your hands up overhead, taking a deep breath and lifting your diaphragm to bring fresh prana and chi into your lungs. And when you're ready, take your time rolling over to your side. We'll meet in Sukhasana, easy sitting posture. Continue to thread the stillness and silence into this closing as you bring your palms together in front of your heart for Anjali Mudra. Michael Beckwith says this about the power of the heart. Challenges and hardships oftentimes are the intense heat and fire that break us open to discover gifts, talents, and capacities within us that we would have never discovered before. Let us open to the wisdom under this full moon in Leo and allow for the alchemical fire of the heart to purify and transmute all that is ready to evolve. With reverence and respect in our hearts, let's close with 3 final breaths. First, inhale to the wisdom of the universe. And exhale, let it go. Inhale to the full moon. And exhale, release. And last, inhale to the tiny space of your heart. And exhale, let it go. Thank you for your participation and your presence. And full moon blessings. Namaste.